Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. In the previous video, I have explained to you about our protocol, IIAS. We have our first level at intention and how we're going to develop our intention in terms of our life, in terms of our protocol, in terms of our intention to do things and so on. The whole detail we have discussed many times in the past. The second level is, the second I is intervention. Then we have attitudinal and values transformation and development, and finally self-actualization. And I explained to you how self-actualization from the perspective of cognitive positive Islamic cognitive behavior therapy or positive Islamic psychology, it must be on the basis of conscious awareness of the SEMP integration. And inshallah, today we go back to our book where we discuss about CBT and Pi-CBT, our positive Islamic psychology. You go to the chapter on CBT and Pi-CBT, and we have explained to you that basically Aaron back idea that when you are depressed, because we are taking this example of depression, and we'll take other examples as we go along from the book. There are many examples that we can use. That the depressive state begins with depression, all right, and then you do nothing, and then what happens is that you have no energy and you have no ways of solving your problem. And basically in back theory, he says about the three things that includes three main components: negative automatic thoughts, depressive schema, and logical error in thinking. And I have explained to you about the depressive schema, automatic thoughts, and logical error in thinking. And today I'm just giving you some idea of how CBT, thoughts, moods and feelings and behavior. This is a typical CBT approach that I have modified this to use in the previous video, where we have our FET cycle, feelings, emotion and thought cycle, all right, because this cycle is based on thoughts being prominent in your neurological self, your neurological self. That means your brain, because CBT is a circular model, so it's a brain-body interaction. So thoughts is from the brain, all right. From the Islamic perspective, thoughts is not only from the brain. There is both the external input. That means the thought is just like a TV receiver, all right. So it receives signal from the external sources, all right. So it receives signal not only from your surrounding, from your social environment, the physical environment, is also from the realm of the spiritual. So we are receiving, we are like our brain is not the transmitter, because if we say thoughts is everything, in our approach it must be FET first. So we have this, before thoughts we must have this feelings first. Feelings, this is our model, feelings. Okay, then you create from here you create the necessary emotion, or the culp is the culp here, then you have thought. So you have this FET, all right. So for CBT it is TEF, thoughts, emotion, feelings. This is a cycle: thoughts, emotion, feelings, and then behavior, reaction. We have one more layer, because this is a very basic framework that you must understand. Because if you are a TV receiver, you are just receiving signal from outside. Internally you have your mechanism to process the signal, but the signal is not only internal but it is external. That means from the realm of your society you get internal external input. The behavior of the society will affect you, all right. So the same situation also you are getting from the realm of the spiritual, because Allah created us a spiritual being, and from the realm of the malaika, and from the realm of shaitan, all right. So the sum total is basically your whole neurological function is like a receiver receiving all those input. It is not a transmitter. That is everything self-contained. No doubt the major processing, or you tell you the CPU is here, all right, but that the CPU doesn't mean that it is everything. So we have the FET cycle, which I have dwelled about 4 or 5 videos over this idea in cognitive positive Islamic cognitive behavior therapy, or the framework of Islamic psychology must be based on FET. All right, then we have thoughts, feelings, and behavior. So assuming that we are going to take the CBT model, okay, then we have already accepted the feelings, emotion, and feeling, emotion, and thoughts. FET is there already. So this is the FET thoughts that you have. All right. So this concept then is that our feelings, emotion internally at the level of the subconscious, at the level of the qalb, all right, will affect the feelings within your physical body. So these feelings in which CBT says is a feeling at your physical level, at the P level. This is at the qalb level. So your feelings and mood will be manifested in your physical self, all right, and then it will then give a behavior and a reaction. So if you take the depressive situation, all right, your thoughts are, all right, you are depressed. Your feeling and mood will be a reflection of depression. That means all the signs of depression. That means you are not interested, you have low energy, you cannot sleep at night, and all the description as in DSM-5, all right. And then your behavior reaction will be then, you give up on life, you do nothing, you sit down and cry, you have suicidal tendencies and so on. So your behavior and reaction, this whole cycle is there. So typically from this diagram they have the ABC model. If you study CBT, it's always they're talking about ABC, ABC, ABC. What is ABC? ABC is activating event. That means your thoughts, all right, and your feelings and mood will then activate an event. All right, that activating event could be breakup of relationship, grief, loss of parents, loss of a child. It could be many factors. All right, so that activity will affect your behavior. Your behavior could be depression, grief, OCD, or whatever it is, and the consequences. Consequences, you have all the consequences of the psychological problems that we face today in the whole spectrum of psychological problems which I have discussed before. All right. So if we see this CBT model, again, from our perspective, I have explained to you the Ghazalian model. The Ghazalian model is, again, we have a top-up. So you can see when I explain this is CBT, this is Pi-CBT. This is CBT, ABC model. We have, in the Ghazali model, is they have, before this activating event, we have two levels. We have the first level is called motive, and then from motive you have intention, and this motive and intention cause the activating event. Then in the Ghazali model you also have behavior and consequence. You can see, because you must have a motive and intention first before an activating event can happen. All right, so motive can be many things. It can be a good motive or a bad motive. So for example, if I'm going to tell you the concept of, say, being the Caliph of Allah, we must have a motive to become the Caliph of Allah. What is the motive? All right, we intend to express ourselves to be the true and sincere servant of Allah and His Caliph on this earth. That's our motive. Then our intention is to make ourselves good, help others to be good, and make the world good. All right, so from the intention, we activate the activating event. What is the activating event? Okay, we start doing, taking the, say, life coach program. That's the activating event. Our behavior is that we get new knowledge, all right, and we start learning. The consequences is then we become a certified PIP coach, and then we help others. So that is a whole flow. So in psychology, in the negative input could be very prominent. For example, a lot of human beings now today, what is their motive in life? Make this, make money, make money, make money. You know, the whole idea is everything is make money, make money. So the motive is what? Make money, because we are influenced by this whole consumption psychology of gross consumption. This whole world cannot take it. But gross capitalism, gross consumption is the motive for every majority of human beings today. Can this earth take it? We can't. We are polluting, we are destroying ecologically. We are going to actually drown ourselves with the rise in sea level and CO2 level and all that, we are destroying this earth. But where this came from, this motive of gross desire? So from the perspective of Islamic psychology, that is evil. But because we don't see it, I have a big car, I have a big bungalow, I have everything big, So this whole idea is, I must have big money. So to have big money, then my intention is, maybe I try to gamble. So there's this gamble. So gambling becomes the intention to gamble. So the activity event become, I gamble in a casino. What happened? I become a gambler, addicted to gambling. And the consequences, I destroy my life. So you can see that basically, the Islamic perspective must be, there's always be motive. And everything in this world, in malu bil niyat, you start everything with your niyah, your intention. So your intention consists of your motive and your intention built together from the perspective of your niyah. Alright? So within your niyah also you must have ikhlas. So why are you doing it? So when we have ikhlas, also we must do it in a way that is consonant with the good values. So it is very important for us to reshape society, because as I told you, this whole idea that is everything is the physical existence with physical things to enjoy. Alright? So we are creating a plastic heaven. I have a friend who is a scholar. He says the modern world is creating not a natural heaven on this earth, not the heaven of Adam and Eve, but a plastic heaven, because everything is flooded with plastic. You go to cars now, all body is plastic. You take your cup, it is plastic. Everything is plastic. So you are creating a plastic heaven that pollutes the earth and kill all the animals and the fauna and flora and the atmosphere and so on. So we are creating a destructive motive and destructive intention of gross consumption. Alright, the activating event will cause us to become gambler or addiction. For example, now we are addicted to what? We are addicted to handphones. You spend 4 hours now, they're saying. So your brain will change. Alright? And for children who are addicted to handphone, in not so long to come, maybe 5-10 years from now, you can see huge number of psychologically imbalanced human beings that have Asperger's syndrome. They are already like autism type of symptom that is going to be manifested in millions and millions and millions of children. Because why? They are using handphone very young, and they are exposed to all the electromagnetic radiation. They are exposed to the addictive habit, the scrolling, they're addictive to phonography, they're addictive to so many things. So we are creating a situation where we will not be having normal children anymore. Why? It starts again with the motive. Motive, why? Alright? So we allow certain things to happen, and based in the name of so-called freedom. Alright? And what we do, we create people who are addicted to phonography, addicted to video games, addicted to so many negative things in the world that they cannot even have attention. So they become ADHD, attention deficit and hyper disorder. They become like that, and then they also withdraw from emotional contact with their family members and other human beings. So they become a zombie. So we are creating a generation of addicted zombies. And I'm giving you this idea or this understanding not because I say it. You can see hundreds, in fact thousands of scholars, deep researchers, people who are studying this whole idea of this 21st century civilization, how we're going to disintegrate because of our very choice of not following the fitrah that Allah has ordained and given to us. So inshallah, if you understand this model, alright, I have given you some idea how we're going to go about with it. Let us do something. Let us change the situation. The least we could do is for our brothers and sisters, the 1.7 billion Muslims, Ummah. So I'm doing this video, giving you some ideas, so we'll get together. Try to change first ourselves. Remember, being the Caliph of Allah, these are three simple principles. Our intention and motive is to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing more. With the sincere intention of ubudiyah, our worship to Allah, following the principles of Islam, Iman and Ihsan. And we try to become the Caliph of Allah always trying to create a situation where we strive to make ourselves good, help others to make good, and make this world good and pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to all His creatures on this earth, so that we make this 21st and 22nd century a beautiful century for all Muslims and all humanity and all goodly creatures on this earth, inshallah.